Continuing with reading chapter 2, the account of the Heifer of Israel, verses 26 to 36. The God of all, the Lord of the soul, has no qualms about providing examples that demonstrate his exclusive sovereign power to create life. He is the spirit of creation who had breathed his own into every form of life. He salutes and celebrates his own spirit. He's not ashamed to tell people that he had breathed his own soul into the weakest of his creatures, like the flies, the same way he had breathed his spirit into his strongest and most complex forms of life. The people that worship God, the ones who had anchored the sense of security in his protection, they recognize that he possesses certain innate rights, like the right to show off to people the laws of his nature, to talk about the laws that he had constituted to govern his universe. The constancy of these laws is the God's truth. On the other hand, the people that worship idols are saying, what is the lesson that God wants to teach when he talks about flies? An example of what? He is confusing many people by such an example, but also making many others see the light. God, the Lord of life, had only intended to confuse those souls that were already defiled and corrupted. They are the people who would not hesitate to break a solemn oath that they had sworn before their Lord to uphold a form of common unity. They erect barriers to separate people, to cut them off from their relatives, and to deny them their innate right to access the openness in the land. They break up the natural continuity of things that God had intended for such things to remain perpetually connected. They champion the soul's earthly descending by contaminating its character of morality. They are defeatists. How could you betray the God of all things in the creation, your Lord, the one who had given you the most precious free gift, the life that you enjoy? When your nation's soul died, he was the one who breathed life back into it. Then it was he who snuffed that soul out so he could revive it with a new spirit. No one escapes from coming face to face with him, and eventually you will return to where you came from, to stand before him. It was he who had created for you all that abundance in the earth's providence. Then his spirit hovered straight over the expanse in the horizon, and emerged in the sky where he stacked the heavens in 7 plates of identical levels. He is aware of the peculiar nature of every tiny thing in his infinite universe. Now let's go back to that time when the Lord of your heart said to the angels, I will delegate my authority to my heir, who will execute my will. I will empower one of the creatures on earth with my own soul to rule over its affairs. They said, is it your intention to appoint a creature who is capable of corrupting the purity of its character and who will be spilling the blood of the innocent? You have already created us. We are the blameless beings, totally immersed in devotion to you. We sing your praises and glorify your holiness. Are we not worthy of this honor? He said, I am aware of things you will never know. Then the Lord took Adam under his wing and showed him how to recognize the faces of the Spirit and how to call the faces by their noble names. He taught him how to recognize the forces that would allow his soul to rise to higher planes of perception. Then he lined up these noble sentiments before the angels and said to them, can you speculate on the names that will be given to these things standing before you? If you truly intend to be my heirs, then you are expected to recognize these forces and give them their names. They said, "Revered is your highness. We know not except the knowledge that you had imparted on us. You are in possession of all the knowledge and the wisdom imbued in your system." The Lord said to Adam, "Declaim in the court of this gathering the names that each will go by." So Adam proceeded to recite the noble names to be given to the sentiments that will manifest the Lord's willpower. The names describe the Lord's character and his noble attributes, the faces of the highest expression of man's morality. When Adam had finished, the Lord said to the angels, "Did I not say to you that I knew all the mysterious forces imbued in the soul's sublime heavens and its earthly descending? I know all that is in control of rising high and falling low. I know what moves all things up in the heavens and down in the earth. I know what has come and what is yet to come. I know your intentions, whether you choose to reveal them in the words you say, or when you keep them a guarded secret in your heart." And there came a time when we, the soul of the collective, commanded the angels to prostrate themselves before Adam, to bow to him and to serve him as they had served their master. They all did except Lucifer, who refused to obey, and he was filled with the false pride of an arrogant sinner. Then he became a defector and humanity's sworn enemy. Then we commanded Adam, "You and your soulmate will go and live in paradise. You will live in the garden of plenty, in peace and serenity. Take your pleasure in the abundance of its providence, and eat whatever your heart may desire. But do not lust after the fruits of this particular tree in the garden. Its fruits will make you turn to the dark side, and you will be doing all kinds of wicked things." Then Satan lured them to their fall, into making a mistake that cost them their paradise. He drove them out of the garden of plenty and its heavenly peace and security. So we decreed the following to be carried out. Descend to that lower state where some of you will become sworn enemies of others. On earth, you will settle down and find a stable life in fleeting pursuits. You will enjoy periods of ease every now and then, until a time comes when your eventuality will be decided.